Hi, my name's Fred, and I'm one of the founding bloggers of Rottsnshots, a Second Amendment based blog um, that me and my wife decided to found to try to, I guess the words we use is debark the liberals, but you could replace debark with debunk. Um, or who knows, at this point you could probably replace the word debark with scare the hell out of liberals, because that's exactly what I like to do. Um, and I try to be informative as much as I can along the way. I'll never claim to be a pundit or a know-it-all, and I sure as heck am not one of the media's talking heads by any means. I'm not pretty enough for that. So, given that, and having said that as somewhat of a disclaimer, I am going to start into tonight's discussion. And what I'm going to be discussing with you this evening is John Moses Browning's invention, the 1911 45 ACP, in its original format. And of course, we all know that technology marches on. Since 1911, there's been many variations and many technology changes. But if you look at it and strip them down to the bells, whistles, and thrills of modern technology, what you will find and discover is that John Moses Browning's original design from 1911 actually still exists today. As I just said, it's in many formats, from anything from 38 super all the way up to 10 millimeter. And there's quite a few folks that favor the in-betweens. Now, I still favor the original format, which is 45 caliber ACP. When John Moses Browning invented the 45 caliber ACP in 1911 for the United States military primarily, and he did hope it would catch on with the civilian market, but primarily for the United States military, because the chief complaint at the time was that their current 38 special sidearms did not have the punch necessary to stop somebody with one shot. They were finding that it was taking more than multiple shots, and at times these folks would still keep coming at them. The reason why is that they were using 38 special, and the enemy at the time happened to be consuming cocoa leaves, which of course is the main ingredient to the drug cocaine. So naturally, when they were hit with a 38 special round, they pretty much just laughed it off and kept charging at whatever they were charging at. Now, this is, although a somewhat modified version, this is basically still John Moses Browning's invention, the 1911 45 ACP. Now, I've modified this particular one to have a particularly soft grip to it, because I'm not a big fan of felt recoil, I'll be rather honest with you. I've increased the spring strength, I've modified the guide rod, and of course, if this was one of John Moses Browning's 1911s, the hammer would not be skeletized, and neither would the trigger. This would be a solid bobbed hammer, and that would be a solid trigger. Now, having said that, it still basically is what John Moses Browning invented. A 7 or 8 shot, well, more recently the 8 shot, and there is a 10 shot now capacity magazine that you can buy for the 1911s, but originally they were 7 to 8 shot magazines in 45 ACP, which is a rather large cartridge. And of course, when John Moses Browning invented it, no such thing as hollow points. This was being fed standard 230 grain ball ammo. Very effective, great penetration, and in some cases over penetration, depending on how close your target is. I advocate still and do still carry my 45 ACP 1911. Some people say it's too clumsy, too awkward, too bulky. To the critics of the 1911, I answer that with the assurance that I can still operate it as long as you know the limitations of the firearm, and that the firearm will function as it's designed to do. you can carry practically anything. I don't recommend for the novice carrying something as big as the 1911, as it takes a certain amount of understanding of what the gun is and how it functions, or how I should say it best functions, to go ahead and want to take on the task of carrying it for self-defense. Although it is a very good round for self-defense, and they do make modern polymer 45 ACPs that are more compact, less unwieldy than the 1911. It's just a gun that I have grown up with, and a gun that my dad and my dad's dad obviously used in military use. That was their first exposure to it, and then because of their exposure to it, they exposed me to the 1911. And I've had a conceal and carry permit for 21, almost 22 years now. And like I said, it's not for the novice. There's a lot of moving parts. There is a lot of things that can or could happen that would make it not the best choice for personal defense. Having said that, like I said, I still am very loyal to the caliber. I'm very loyal to the 1911 format. Well, having said that, I salute John Moses Browning for having invented something that has endured for the last 100 years now, and has brought a lot of people a lot of shooting enjoyment, and is also responsible for the termination of a lot of lives. It's not the gun that has terminated all those people, it is the person behind it. That is one of my pet peeves with liberals, is that they have this tendency to blame the firearm and not the person. I believe highly in personal responsibility. I believe highly in the fact that the person behind the firearm must take responsibility for their actions with said firearm. That's why I'm here to tell you that John Moses Browning's invention is still alive and well in the 20th century. It works, it's effective, it's extraordinarily effective at close ranges, and has almost unequaled stopping power at close ranges. Again, it's also a big, heavy subsonic round. Well, that's my blog about the 1911. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, rottsnshots is always here for you as a resource. I welcome all and any commentary. Feel free to contact me if you want to talk about it, and by all means enjoy your day. And I hope you enjoyed John Moses Browning's invention as much as I have. Well, for now, I'm Fred. This is rottsnshots video blog, and you all have a great day.